balls are playing accurate like that? Things on that?
Line of sight is it's pretty difficult to explain, but straight balls. If you're looking at straight balls, like I said earlier on, it's all about chalking the cue on line of the shot before you get down on the shot, and standing properly at the table in line before getting down. Practice routines would be the 5 reds across the table, or long straight reds, and practice bringing the cue back nice and straight and going through straight through the centre of the ball. It's very hard, it's easy to say but very hard to do, and it takes practice. No one can just take to this game by natural ability. You need to learn through the years when you're younger, and everyone's different. It does help having your chin on the cue straight, but the main thing is, like I said, is chalking the cue behind the shot that you see, and then getting down on line, and that's the bottom line. Prepare before you play.
True. Yeah. But sometimes we find that the line shift depends sometimes on your physical conditions. Particularly when you play, like you travel a lot, you got jet lag, so you got sleepless night.
Yeah, well, I've had a long day today, and you can see my eyes are a bit sore. I've done a few nights' work over here, but yeah, it's what you get used to as what we do. But some days sport is on the day. In any sport is on the day. Some days you feel better than others and play rubbish. Some days you feel bad and play well. So if we knew what the answer, if someone knew what the answer was, then obviously everybody would be doing it. But sport is what I enjoy playing. Is I get a great buzz out of playing well, and you never know when you're going to actually really play well, because you can feel, like I said, you can feel really bad and play well, and feel really good and not play well. So it's a funny mix, but that's in every sport, I think. You just got to prepare well, prepare the best you can, practice as hard as you can, and enjoy playing sport, and take your highs with your lows. Yeah.
So and the next is we know you've got a superb cue action.
Yes.
Could you tell us any secret?
Yeah, it's when I was younger, I worked hard. How I play the game is I find a sweet spot on the white ball, and I tend to, the timing of that I've got is I'm very slow going, pulling away from the white ball. The last stroke is when you pull away, and then as you pull away, you drive forward, and I find a sweet spot, that I call it, and I get the ball to move without hitting it so hard. And that's timing of going through the ball. I'm going through the ball, the white ball, a lot further than most players, so I can generate a lot more spin. And it's just one of those things. I mean, the cue that I've got is I've had since I was 16, and I've grown with that cue. I was 22 years old, and I've grown with it.
And you still the cue now?
Yeah. It's a smaller tip, just below 9 mil, and it's about 19 ounces in weight. So it's got a bit of weight there, but I don't need the weight. What the weight's there for is for me to let the cue do the work, not my hand. No time. It's the cue. Drive the cue through. Let the cue do the weight.
I saw you fold your arm completely.
Yeah. When you go forward, you got to go forward. That's sending the cue through the white ball a good 6 to 8 inches.
Right. So that's the other little secret.
Yeah.
Right. So and the last, could you introduce or tell us how you practice to make sure those accurate cueing actions and
it's
what routines you normally
I go into practice. I have 45 minutes of practice at a time. To hold my concentration, I take someone with me to pick the balls out. And I do a section of routines. I do the 5 reds, just cueing exercises really. 5 reds across the pink spot, sending the reds in, and then coming up for the blue. Screwing past the blue is a big cueing exercise. It means you've got to actually deliver the cue at the white ball very well to get the spin, and stunned by the blue as well. It's all controlled, and you need to strike the ball well, as you won't. It's not achievable.
The whole 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, 45 minutes. No, 45 minutes of probably warming up with a couple of those exercises. The same exercise I'll probably play 4 or 5 times, and then the second set I'll do standard routines, and I'll set a few up.
Yeah.
So I'll play standard routines of the 5 reds across. I showed you earlier on. I will pot the reds. I'll pot the reds. I'll pot the reds and then send the white past the blue to here. Stun the blue in, go back down for the reds. The next routine will be off the same 5 reds, pot the reds and go down for the white, for the black. So you stun down for the black and then you stun back up for the red, stun back down for the black. So that's tight control. That's going to improve any player. If you can concentrate on doing these exercises, it'll improve you by 30 or 40 points in your break building skills. Minimum, that is. That's a bad player overnight, good player when he gets this right, because your positional skills have to be good, and it'll improve your positional skills. If I knew this when I was 14, 15, I'd be 10 times better player when I was 16, 17, 18, because these are just cueing exercises. You have to get the timing right, to position the ball, because if you're out of position by that much,
yes,
you're dead. Just pick them all up and start again.
Yes.
The next routine would be reds into the middle, so you play red into the middle, and stun down for the black, screw the black back in, play the next red, all the reds into the middles, back for the black. Again, cracking exercise. It will improve you. If you can crack this, and improve your break building by another 30 or 40 points. So then you're getting around 100. So that's just 3 exercises I've done there, that if you can crack them, when you play in a frame and these situations come up, you're like, well, I've done this. Do this in practice every day. And that's it, it's patterns. These balls, I said earlier on to Arthur, these balls won't be in a line. These balls will be scattered around the table.
Yes.
They're not in a line, but this one comes up.
Like this, yes.
That comes up. That's on the line in practice.
Yeah.
It's near the line. So when you've got to screw that in, you've played it, loads of times in your brain. It knows what you've got to do before getting down and doing it. The next cracking routine, the same off the same 5 reds, is this is hard. I mean, this is if any of you want to try this. This is exceptionally hard. What you've got to do now is, I play the 5 reds again with no cushions. So I'll play the red and I'll move the white to there, blue down here, red over here, no cushions, no cushions with the white. And again, that's another one of these 5 simple reds. This is hard. Red into the corner pocket, leave the white around this area, bang the blue into that pocket, screw the white back, bang the red into that pocket, screw the white back, bang the blue into this pocket, screw the white back for the next 3 reds. No cushions.
No cushions.
That any professional will struggle with. Any professional, until you've done it time and time again. I mean, you've got to hit that absolutely on the button. You've got to time every shot exceptionally well. That's the end routine I do. When I've had the first 45, I'll have a 15-minute break. I'll do another 45 minutes of routines. I'll show you a couple more now. But this will be, I couldn't do this the first 45 minutes. I'm not warmed up. These stronger routines that I'll do at an end of a day, probably this 3rd session of 45 minutes, when I'm feeling like, yeah, this is all right. Otherwise, I could be there for 5-10 minutes, setting them back up. The standard ones that I used to practice were lining reds when I was 12, 13 years old. I used to go in the club, put all my reds out and play.
Yeah, we do a lot
And
with
every
that.
venue I went to when I was 18, 19, 20, 20, 12, till probably 28, 29, I get half an hour at a venue, I put all my lines up, put my reds up and just play. And I thought, well, what's this doing? I got to like 30, I'm thinking, what am I doing here? I've had 15 years of doing this. You know, so I've now adapted to these. I watched Ronnie do it.
Mhm.
I'm sat there watching Ronnie one day, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, what's he doing? So I'm thinking, that's a queuing exercise he's doing there.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, if you get half an hour before a match,
Mhm.
if you can have half an hour on this, by the time your match comes, you're like, yeah, you really want to go and play. And I was just playing these reds down the middle of the table for 15 years. So the other exercises are tight. They're tight positional stuff. And that's what I was trying to work on earlier on to some of the lads. They've got good techniques, but they need. This is hard, very tough.
Yeah,
Only one choice.
This is very tough. Again, if your positional skills you can't quite get, you have to test yourself.
Mhm.
If you put balls over the hole, what's that achieving?
Mhm.
What's that achieving? You know, what is it achieving? You have to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. You've got to work out what you can get out of the white ball every time you strike the white ball.
Mhm.
And that's the bottom line. It's taken me a few years to work out how I can get the white to spin. And that's obviously coming from the backhand. On different tables, I do struggle. But you know, we're playing on super fine number 10 cloth, and it's got a lot more nap, little more nap than this. This has got a bit of nylon in it, and it's rapid. You know, you have to really, it's really fast and responsive, but not quite as responsive as a number 10. You know, you can actually play the shots a lot softer and get more bite and time of shot. With this, you have to hit the ball a bit quicker. That's the only thing I can think of. But that's what I was saying. That will be very tough for your players over here, because it's tricky. It's tricky to me. It's tricky to me. You know, so you know, the routines, queuing exercises, blues up into the top pocket. I like. You put the white opposite the pink spot in line with the blue. You do sort of 10 or 15 of those into each pocket, and you've got to leave the chalk marks down on the table, like I said for the lads earlier on. The chalk marks mean you've delivered the cue perfectly at the white ball. That's plain and simple. When you let chalk off, it's not because of luck. You hit the ball nice, and usually when you hit the ball nice, unless you've not looked at what you want to see, you've looked at the pop wrong. When you deliver the cue nice, you should pop the ball. Because you've gone through the ball, you've told it what to do, and off you go from there. But yeah, I mean, I do the other section of routines that I do is obviously the blues up into all 4 pockets. I'll do this. I'll be putting the 2 reds down here and here. Then what you do is you pop the red into that pocket, black into that pocket, red into that pocket, black, and then drop the 2 reds in afterwards. That's tough. Where else am I? Yeah, I mean, you can make any shape with the balls. You know, you make the arrow into the corners. That's been done. Obviously, you stay at this side. You pop the red into there, stun the black in, send the white. That's more positional. But again, on this table where it's fast, it's going to be very tricky to control. All the different shapes, you know, with the reds going across like that. It's a good control skill.
Of course.
Any shape, any pattern really that you make up is going to create something. In the sense that you've got to stay tight control, and that's going to improve. You're going to improve your backhand and getting the white to stay in control of. So when you do play a frame, you've got more control. You know what's coming. In the sense that positionally, you know, I've seen some great looking players, but you know they haven't got. They can't open a puzzle. You know, when you play this game, if you get this red, if you get one of these reds out here, all these go. They all go. You've got to look at actually opening up opportunities for yourself to make the game and break build, and that's years of experience. You can't just learn that overnight. So
True.
it's tough, you know.
We're all very keen
Yeah,
to play snooker.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
you can tell.
yeah. I think it's going back. Like I said, I showed the lads earlier on. You put 5 reds in between the black and pink, and all you do is put the reds with the black. You put 5 reds in between pink and blue. All you do is put 5 reds with the pink. Then you put 5 reds between blue and brown, and all you do is put the reds with the brown and the blue. The brown and the blue. And again, that's that little line that I played 15 years. But it was only a couple of years, I saw someone taking that to another level. Again, you have to think about it, and it's a good practice. So any of the players that are just starting off, I'd recommend that. I play the 5 reds between pink and black myself, and the 5 reds across there. I tend to work. If I'm doing work, like I said, I practice an hour or so long shots. You know, that's pick a spot anywhere with two sides of the table, putting the white in the D, and firing in as many long shots as I want to play. Yeah, I'd probably do 50 or 60 each side if I'm building up to a tournament. I like to leave chalk marks between yellow spot and green, and that usually. I've watched Ronnie do this again. I went to practice one day at a venue late at night. I thought I was going to be clever, and I turned up. Ronnie had been in, and he just absolutely ruined the cloth. He's got chalk marks going so many times that way, going into that pocket, and then chalk marks going so many times that way. It would have taken the table fit half an hour to get that chalk out of there. Unbelievable. And then I thought, hang on a minute, why am I getting these chalk marks? Because I'm actually, what it is, when you